lose control. Using my fist, that's all I know. On my own 2 feet, go blow for blow. But you got a problem, now you know I'm not. Never had a problem to go inside. Messing with me is a suicide. Take you to the jungle where you won't survive. Hit them blue wet on the Chevy pain. Turning your face like a dope stain. Hypnotized rim, make it go insane. Just like a bubble head, bubbling brain. Riding and swerving from lane to lane. I'ma let the whole world know my name. Doing my thing, cause I'm a pro. Got it on my chest, cause I'm a soul.
Hello and welcome all. Thank you for joining into my show, Candid Talks with E. My name is Isa, and today we have a great show for you guys. Today I have the esteemed pleasure of sitting down virtually, of course, with Mr. Pierre Garcon.
How you doing?
I'm sorry I had you sitting in there for a couple minutes.
It's all good. It's all good. No problem at all.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. So I wanted to bring you on today to talk about a little bit about your rise to stardom, your upbringing, and if you can give us a little of your input on mental health and especially in the Haitian community, and also to the youths that you do a lot of, you give back a lot to, and the ones that are aspiring athletes that wants to make it and just kind of look up to you or look up to NFL players in general. Okay.
I understand. What was the first part?
Well, I wanted to start off by saying that you are a local in West Palm, right?
West Palm Beach is home. Belle Glade is home, but West Palm Beach is where I live. I went to middle school, high school, and came back after football to live in West Palm Beach. I enjoy it.
Okay, good. So you're back here now.
Yes, I'm home.
Pretty cool. You went to John I. Leonard. I wanted to ask, did you know he's a principal now at Kennedy, but he used to be at John I. Leonard, I was told, for a very long time. Mr. Clark?
Mr. Clark, I have to probably see a picture. I probably ran into him or seen him before, but
no worries. He just came from John I. Leonard, so I didn't know you knew him. So you are from West Palm, and then you lived in Belle Glade, or? Yeah,
grew up in Belle Glade first. My whole family, we all, that's where my family came from when they came from Haiti. Everybody just went to Belle Glade to work in the migrant fields, and after elementary school, we moved to West Palm Beach, and that's where West Palm Beach, took over my life.
Well, it's always good to know of someone from home who's kind of made it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
In any venture that they set their mind to. And you started off by getting drafted with the Colts.
Yes.
And then you went to the Redskins, 49ers.
And then San Francisco 49ers, yes.
Okay. And then you're also a Super Bowl champion.
Nah, we lost the Super Bowl. We got second place. They won it before I got there. 2 years before I got there, and then we lost it when we played against the Saints in the Super Bowl championship.
The picture of you holding the Haitian flag, when was that?
That was the game to make us go to the championship game, to the Super Bowl.
Okay. How was that feeling?
It was an amazing time. It was a crazy time in everyone's life, because that was maybe 2 weeks after the earthquake in Haiti, and it was something that the world has never experienced, and we were just it was a roller coaster of emotions, just playing well, going to the Super Bowl, but still sad for the tragedy in Haiti. Yeah.
No, that was bad. It was a really bad earthquake. I think that you went back after, right?
We went back after in April to try to help out as much as we can. It's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but we try to do as much as we can.
How was it is that the only time you went back since you've been?
Nah, I've been going back to Haiti a lot. I have a lot of family there still, and stay in contact with them and communicate with them all the time. But I go back to Haiti. Well, before coronavirus, it was at least twice a year. Now Corona has not all.
I've been, and out of all, I don't like I've tried so much, but I've been around a little bit. But that trip was definitely one of my favorite trips that I've ever been to.
Haiti is very unique, very unique. You'll love it. You'll change. You'll leave Haiti a different person when you when you leave in the island. It's
Most
a
definitely.
place, but it's very, very unique. I highly encourage people to visit, but they have to get security better so that people would want to come and visit.
Oh, definitely, and it's a unique in a way that you kind of you're grateful, and it kind of leaves you where you kind of forget all your problems. It makes me feel like home. So I'm from Nicaragua, and this country is so similar. Right. And it's just the greetings of the people, the food.
Food is amazing.
Oh man. Food is amazing.
Food is amazing.
So it was really a good time that I really did have. And I do encourage people, like you said, to go back, because I don't think that we portray the good parts of Haiti, and a lot of just kind of say the negative parts of it, and it just kind of deters people from going or whatever it may be. But it was one of my favorite trips.
I'm glad you liked it.
I did. Thank you. Talking about Haiti, can you talk to me about your upbringing, or kind of say growing up Haitian?
It was fun. It was actually, I think pretty normal. I grew up, most of my childhood was in Belgrade, where we grew up around, Haitian families, Haitian kids, everything was normal. We wasn't rich, but we wasn't poor, and then we'd travel back to Haiti, so it was a blessing when you get to go back to Haiti as a child to see how it is, and then you come back to America and, you're just living normal and missing all your friends in Haiti and all that stuff. But it was a normal upbringing where on Sundays we go to church, Monday through Friday we go to school, Saturdays we play outside. Okay. And just, after school I went to after school program, played sports, did homework, literally lived a simple, safe life. There was nothing out of the ordinary. And we took, I guess, month-long vacations to Haiti with my mom, and just yeah, just difficult. Luckily, I was able to get on a plane a lot younger than other people. But that was the only thing that was different from us. But honestly, people, in Belgrade is nothing but Haitians, and, everybody else, they do the same thing. They go back to Haiti when they can, when they want to, or as often as they want to.
Okay. Talk to me about mental health in the Haitian community, because I asked that topic because I have a lot of youth that I deal with, and when I talk to, and it's parents in general, like the stigma on mental health is really huge everywhere, especially in our communities of color, so to speak. However, I think with cultured communities, it's even more higher, right? Because we tend to rely solely on our faith sometimes, and we tend to kind of rely on not understanding. And you talk to me about what is that like?
Like you said, it is different in different cultures. Different beliefs have different cultures, have different beliefs in different medical needs.
Yeah.
Because growing up, if I got hurt playing football, my mom was like, "Come here, let me grab it, let me rush it. You're not going to the hospital. Let me do this and that. Let me,
Use some tea.
Oranges, like, we're gonna take care of it somehow, someday." And that's how I think they go about mental health too. It's like we give you a whooping, we talk about it, we let your uncle take care of it. Somebody else, when your parents get tired of telling you the same thing over and over, or it's just handled different. It's real, but based on how your family, I guess, is brought up, that's how, I guess, your household handles mental health. There's no fix for it. There's no one fix. Everybody is affected differently. And, I think it's how the household handles any situation, that's how they probably would handle mental health. They can ignore it or they can seek out help because, you know, in our community, there's not a lot of people that have money to go see psychologists. So if you can't go see, you know, doctors for it, you got to find another way to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't ever always pick the right way to deal with it because it's something that we don't know how to deal with because at the end of the day, we think it costs too much money to just go talk to someone.
And that is very true. I kind of wrote down some, because that's a big topic in our community too, that we don't have the funding for seeking out help when we actually want to get help. And, you know, there are some, you know, ways on a kid from K to 12 high school in Palm Beach. We're not in Palm Beach County, K through 12. There is a family therapist that is allotted to every family in the schools. I mean, this is just fast forward into kind of resources, being that you brought up that topic right away. So you have that resources in the school system if a child needs help, that they can seek a free therapist, and then they do offer family therapists. And then they also have the insurances. A lot of people don't understand that your insurance can provide you with free therapy and or at a discounted rate. So you pay just like maybe a $5 copay, but majority of your insurances have it. It's under behavioral health. So it's a good point that you just brought that up though about the finances, because sometimes we do want to, and it's just that resources. And then another thing too is that finding somebody relatable to talk to.
True. It's like looking for a doctor. You know, you don't feel comfortable with somebody that's not familiar with you or with your type to diagnose you and give you the proper treatment or thing that you
don't know. Yeah.
So it is, you know, it plays a role of with finance and also just being, you know, not afraid to ask for it, because, you know, there's some things the kid might want, but the parent is just embarrassed to go out and find resources for it. You know,
True.
Haitian families have.
I know what you're saying, because
they have high egos, and you know, every family is perfect in Haiti, but we know it's not. But you know, they'll take you to the pastor before they take you to the doctor.
I get it. And as parents, we tend to, whatever our child displays or does, or their behavior, good and bad, we take that on as a reflection of us. So when it's bad, we tend to kind of not want to. We're embarrassed.
We don't want to shed light on it.
Yeah, or like, you know, looking at them like, where you got that from? When you've been doing, you know, you knew the whole time.
Right. It's
I get it.
It's real.
It is real. And it's something that I'm trying to kind of normalize in our communities a lot, because we do suffer from a lot of mental health or disorders or illnesses that we don't even know of. You know, something simple as just kind of displaying your emotions and understanding your feelings and how, you know, you kind of react to what you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, it's a certain way, or if you're frustrated or whatever it may be, we weren't always taught properly, so to speak. So, you know, sometimes dealing with grief or just anything in life, like life happens, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we just don't know how to cope. So then therefore we're going to go back into a depression or just anxiety as that anxiety alone, so to speak. A lot of people deal with, and they don't even know they're dealing with it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's certain things that they display differently. It may come out in anger. It may come out in many ways, you know, but if you don't know this is anxiety and you don't know how to treat it or cope with it, then it just kind of adds on. And you keep doing, yeah. And another thing too, in our community, we tend to, especially if you didn't grow up with much, you know, you tend to learn how to survive.
Yeah.
You're always in survival mode, you know, and just being in survival mode all the time. Like I even posted this the other day, like being in survival mode all the time help you to get through your situation. But once you get to a point to where you can do better, you know, you should kind of tweak the way your behavior is, because it's not actually the best way. It just helps you to get out.
The current situation is making
correct.
No, that's understandable, and it goes with the person understand. Okay, I'm not in survival mode anymore. I'm in a comfortable situation now where I can express myself, communicate properly, and, you know, be myself.
True. Let me go back to your career. I was told that you were looked on a lot as an underdog. That it was a good thing. An underdog who proved people wrong, though. You know, tell me about that experience, and did that affect you any mentally?
It was well, when you play sports, you're always the underdog. Unless you go to, you know, coming out and they give you all the hype when you're coming out. You just know you're fighting for a position no matter where you go. High school, college, you're just always fighting for a position because it's a certain amount of players to play. But it was a challenge because I knew I was good. I just had to keep reminding myself that I was good enough because, you know, you will believe the hype of the other people because you're getting hyped for a reason. And you're looking at them, you're evaluating them, you're evaluating yourself. You're like, I'm just as big, just as tall, just as fast, you know, and then you're like, I can do this. I might not get far, but they're not doing nothing out of the ordinary. They're just playing football.
Yeah.
And that's how I mentally got through it. It takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of, you know, you have to reassure yourself through the hard work that you put into it. It's not just going to show up, but it is, you know, reassuring yourself that, hey, he's a human being just like me. He's playing football just like me. So if he can do it, I know I can do it. He might went to a bigger school or maybe taller, but I still can do the same thing that he's doing. I just have to be more consistent. And that's what football is all about, or life is all about, just being consistent. Consistency is good.
That's true. The consistency is key. And
that's what people around in the NFL. And, you know, once you've been doing it for a long time, they're just expecting the same thing over and over. And that's how I mentally got through a lot of stuff. Just like, it's not complicated. It's not overwhelming. It's the same game that we've been playing since we were in the church in Belgrade. It's football, catch the ball, run the ball, run fast.
Yeah. But no, good point, though, as far as, you know, just knowing how that everything in consistency is key and working hard to what you want to achieve because
and preparing for whatever that's gonna happen because you know you're gonna be playing football, you're gonna be working out for somebody, you have to be in tip-top shape, and it's preparation and mentally reassuring yourself that you can do it.
Let's talk about that mental strength and preparation that you talked about. How much would you say is that important? Especially a football player, right? Because you guys, it's harder to get into the NFL than any other sport, if that's correct.
It's hard. It's hard to stay in it. It's hard to stay in it, but it's hard. You know, I'm sure the NBA is tough too because, you know, those guys, there's only 5 of them, 12 of them on the team or whatever not. But it's tough. But the mental part, I overcome mental things by overdoing it. Like if I have to lift a certain amount of weight by a certain time, I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to overdo it to confirm that I've done enough sets. So like if I'm working out, I'll do my normal workouts like 3 sets of 12. I might do 15 just because I lost count, or I'm doing more just to put on to make sure I've done 12 correctly.
Okay.
And it's kind of like I'm overdoing it to reassure that I've done it correctly.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, a repetition.
Yes, exact. Consistently repetition, same thing over and over to reassure myself that I've done it correctly. And then I do other stuff. I overdo it. And then, you know, it starts compounding where it becomes a second nature. And then I'll reach the 15 and don't even remember, like, that's it. It was like, and then it becomes too easy to be like, I gotta keep going.
Now you move up the level.
I gotta add more weight. I gotta do something. And just, all of a sudden you're like, dang, you've been working out all day. Or, you know, or it's not even just working out. It's like, that's how I also did good in school. I just kept studying over and over because this is the test. This is what's gonna be on the test. And if I get it all the time, like I know what's all in the study guide, or, you know, in the test, whatever the teacher gives before the test. If I study all of it, I know I'm gonna get a certain amount of grade. I might not get 100%, but I know I'm not gonna get an F or a D.
I hear you. Yeah.
So that's how I mentally got through a lot of things.
Okay. So there's that repetition and consistency.
Repetition, especially if it's something important to me.
Okay. What do you say to our young athletes that are very talented?
Mm-hmm.
However, their circumstances may be different in the sense that their environment, they're not caught up in the best lifestyle or environment, or their home situation is not the best. So it puts on a lot of strain and stress on them. What do you say to those kids out there that
to the kids that are, have home situations, problems, family problems, or anything kind of problem that's distracting them from their main goal, but definitely tell them to think about where they want to see themselves in 5 years, in 10 years, and set these goals on where they want to be, and look for someone that's doing what you want to do. Look for a group of you that's doing what you want to do, and like reach out to them. Reach out, try to hang around them because they're doing what you want to do, where you see yourself, do what they do, figure out what they've done, start moving in that direction, because that will start consuming your life instead of the problems that, you have at home, or worrying about things that you don't have, and start working towards something that you want to have.
Yeah.
That's like the best advice I can give is find someone that's doing what you want to do, research them, look them up, learn everything about them, how they did it, and start moving in that direction.
So having that goal, so to speak.
A goal, yes. Definitely having a goal is key, because you want to see yourself doing something. Like, when we watch football, when I was a little kid, I watched football on Sundays. And I was like, that looks pretty cool, because like these guys are cool. These guys are on TV. Like they look like they're having a lot of fun out there. Yeah. And it was like, I can do that. I do the same thing outside of my yard with my teammates, my friends, so I can do that on TV. And I honestly, I just wanted to be on TV when I was growing up.
Okay.
I didn't know nothing about, we didn't know nothing about contracts, millions of dollars. We didn't know. We was just like, these guys are on TV, and everybody surrounded around the TV watching these guys play. It was like, this is pretty cool. Right. And then I was like, I'm gonna go do the move that he just did. Let me catch the ball like he catch the ball. Like, it's honestly, it was that simple like thought. I was like, I just want to be on TV. And then as you get older, you start learning more and more, and then things come with the territory. But the ultimate goal is like, I want to be on TV.
What did you look up to growing up when you were watching TV?
When we were growing up, it was always the Dallas Cowboys on TV because they were amazing, and then the Miami Dolphins because they were local, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons because they were playing in the Super Bowl, Denver Broncos. But it was always the Dallas Cowboys the most because they were just the most animated team, and it was pretty cool. It was like, these guys are having fun out there. They doing something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any particular player?
Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, Troy Aikman, Dan Marino, OJ McDuffie, Sam Madison. It was a lot of guys. Mike Allstott, Oric Dunn, Derek Brooks. It was. I enjoyed watching football when I was young, and then I started, learning all the players, and it was like, this is pretty cool. But I still thought it was football. I never thought it was like a job.
Right. Okay.
I just glued to the TV, then.
And that was your passion.
I was like, this looks pretty cool. That's all I can say. Like, this looks pretty cool. And then, fortunately, I grew up in Belgrade, where the high school team, Glade Central, was amazing.
Man, the games out there.
Right. And then we wanted to play for Glade Central. Everybody wanted to play for Glade Central. I didn't get the chance to play, but like, if you play for Glade Central, you're gonna win state because Glade Central was
it.
And then that just added on to my love of football. And it was like, and then my sisters played in the band, and it was like, I never went to a game, but it was like, this is fun. And then our city supported Glade Central. It was
okay.
It was it was really cool.
Football games were it back then.
Yes, they were. I was too young to go, but I could hear the stadium noise. I can hear my sister played in the band too, and they had so much fun. And the people in the church that played in the band, they played on the church band. They played in the football team band in the crowd. So I was surrounded by it, and I was just like, this is amazing.
It was definitely it back then. The place.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, you met President Obama.
Yes.
How was that? He's my favorite.
It was
I really, that was amazing to see that.
It was awesome. I met him after the earthquake. A Haitian president, not a Haitian president. I'm gonna stop. I know his name. Right. I'm gonna stop. That's disrespectful, right? He just passed too. I'll get back to it. But yes, I met Obama. It was cool. I was surprised he knew who I was. That's the president, so but he's a sports fan.
Yeah, he is.
I was surprised that he knew who I was, but it was still cool. And honestly, 4 or 5 years later, I got to meet Michelle Obama too at the White House. So it was pretty cool. I got to meet both of them. Michelle was so nice. It was pretty amazing. But it was a cool experience to meet the president, and also got to meet Bill Clinton a couple of times. So it's
really?
Yes, just a lucky guy that wanted to play football.
And doing all this, right?
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's amazing, though. Michelle is one of the people that I really do want to meet, and it's kind of she seems like an amazing person.
Yes, she's very, very amazing. And I got a picture with her too. So
lucky you.
Dude, it was pretty cool.
Let's talk about the racial injustice that's going on in the world today. What are your thoughts on it?
It's unfortunate. It's real. It's, we want our youth, our Black kids to just be cautious because, it is out there. Be smart. We want the police to be held accountable for the misconduct that they do against citizens, not just Black people, but it's mostly on Black people, but just for citizens too. That's race is gonna happen. People to people, cultures don't like each other. That's gonna happen. That'll never stop. But once the police keeps getting away with it, it makes it harder to, even have faith in anything because the authoritative figure are getting away with blatant crimes on video.
Right. And getting away with it.
And getting away with it. So, people to people, humans, citizens to civilians, that's beef to beef. But when you are, a higher power where you're supposed to be respected, you're supposed to give respect. And when those things get out of hand, it's hard to basically keep things civil wherever injustice happening.
It's funny you talked about that racism is everywhere, because I say that a lot. Like we focus so much on the police as a unit, as it's almost as we're only attacking the police departments, rightfully so. But my point to that is that racism is everywhere. In the lawyer's office, at the doctors, everywhere. So just attacking one entity, to me, that's not going to, I don't
think racism will ever stop. I just think in America, where the police are getting away with it, the system is not even giving fair trials.
But then again, it's the judges that's not,
they're part of it too as well. Part of it too. They got to be held accountable too, because nobody's keeping them accountable. Because if something comes across your desk and it's a young child that obviously didn't do nothing that was as severe, there's no point of him spending 20 years, 10 years in jail or have a one strike probation, and then they end up in jail 10 years for having whatever they say they had on them. 10 years in jail is a long time for being caught with a illegal substance. So that's a judge's decision, and that hurts the whole family, that hurts the whole community. And it's, slowly hurting our community, and it's keeping us down.
The community a lot because, like you said, they're being put in jail for a number of years. That's not
worth it.
So for something that you can do legally now, like everybody is just out and it's like it don't even make sense.
And they pick and choose who to. So like that's where the judge come in at, where judge should be held responsible for the amount of years that they put away. Like everybody don't need the max.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing too that a lot of people have to deal with that does affect your mental health. You know what I'm saying? To understand that you are being treated differently from everybody else when you're supposed to be an American, period. But now you have to separate from what type of American you are, or it's really sad to see the kind of world that we live in now in 2020, so to speak.
It's sad, but we can definitely help put ourselves in a better position by taking control of our family, our home, and being alert. Honestly, being on top of things that are going on, communicating with the kids, because that's part of mental rehabilitation. Just reassuring a child that it's okay to feel like that. It's normal. This is what's going on. So be aware, be prepared, because it can save their life. It will save their life. And it's just opening up for a real conversation. And, I think we as a culture, we don't have real conversation with our kids until it's like too late.
Right. Until after the fact.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I thought you knew about what the parents are saying. I thought you knew about this. Well, no. I work on it now, and it's amazing what we think they should know and what they don't know.
Yeah.
We're assuming because we're an adult, we went through it. We assume that they see it the same way we do. They are honestly just pure and young, and they just are not paying attention to it or oblivious to it. They're just a kid, and you can't.
That's it.
They don't know, but we as a culture have to have a real conversation with our youth. Before it, just like the debate, you just talk about what happened on the debate. It's you don't have to accomplish nothing, but it's okay to have a conversation about how did y'all see what happened? This is what happened. This is what we thought. This is what because everybody picks up different parts of the debate, and just to have a real conversation about because they'll grow up and they'll be like, I remember when I talked to my mom about the presidential debate election, and this is what the cause and effect of it. It's just opening up for future conversations, honestly.
Right.
As parents or as adults, we have to talk to them. We can't expect them to come to us and talk. We have to guide them.
That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, and that helps their mental too. It helps our mental. It helps our mental. It helps their mental.
Yeah. Keeping them educated and just knowing what's going on. And then, like you said, keeping that family grounded home, at home. To me, if you ask me, it starts at home, and everything that you teach that child. And granted, they're looked at a certain way outside when they step out that door. And it's sad that you have to have that conversation with a child. You know what I'm saying? So like even in their own self-esteem, they're going to be like, why me? Why? They have done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Born into their skin. So it's like that alone can just mess with someone to saying, shit, the world hates me. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? So it's good though, what you're saying, as far as just having that communication and starting at home as well. Yeah.
Because that's when kids are more comfortable and they want to express things, but they just don't know how to.
Key. Facts.
Because I work.
But they do eventually in the wrong way.
Exactly, and I help coach, and it's you can see it, and it's like, okay, there's more to this than football,
Right.
So,
So talking about debate, did you just see that last night?
I was in and out of it, and I saw Twitter, and it was, it was
2020. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's yeah. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not into politics that much, so
Is that all you can say?
Right.
That was horrible, but hey, again, that's the world we living in. So it's like you just got to make the much of what you got right now because everywhere is just all screwed up.
I agree.
You know?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Unfortunately. So, getting back to the topic of mental health, we are in the month of suicide prevention and intervention.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to try, but I never got to get a mom on here who just lost her son.
Wow.
And oh man, it is a very sad story. But the thing is, it's not what I was trying to do is just have her to kind of speak on it and just saying that this is nothing new, you know, and the rates. And so I don't know if you heard of Bryce Gowdy. They're from down south. I want to see Delray.
This is recent or old?
Beginning of this year.
The beginning of this year?
Mm-hmm. He was an aspiring football player. I forget what school he went to, and he got a free ride to Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. And he himself and the family, she was saying, they were dealing with their own mental issues, and he ended up. This was his senior year, and he ended up committing suicide by going in front of a train. And you know, it's a really touching story. I'm gonna send the link later, but because she created her own foundation, but I just wanted her to come on and kind of talk to everyone about the realness of it, and maybe just kind of see if she can give pointers on the signs with her son, because he, like I said, he was a great football player in high school, and he had his whole college career ahead of him. And you just never know what these kids are going through. And we cannot say not our kids. We cannot say this is a white thing. We cannot say Black kids don't kill themselves. We got to stop saying it. Like, it gets me really angry when we don't open up our eyes and just kind of be a little bit more open to understanding the realness of suicide and the fact that the rates are going higher, and especially in today's society with being quarantined, and
that is a tough.
It is, and it's just it's a sad story. However, I just wanted her to come on, just to kind of express what she, but she has a link that like I said, I will put it on later. Just a story to say that, just to honor, people with a foundation. Just put that out there. But just to kind of educate ourselves more on suicide in the communities of color, because the funny thing is we go through so much more things in general, so I don't understand why we still have that stigma as to, not us.
We don't want the stigma. That's what it is.
We don't want to admit it.
We don't, like you say, it's not a particular race or whatever. We just don't want the stigma, that it is our kids killing themselves. So, we try to always deny it and avoid it, but it is real and clearly real where, this kid in Delray, it happened to, but it could be anybody, but it's tough to accept it.
Yes.
But it is real.
Yeah, it really is, because it starts from something simple as like I was saying earlier, just depression.
Yeah, and especially like you said with COVID, quarantine, and then obviously now these kids are dealing with a lot more hazing, embarrassment over the internet than it was just in your classroom. The internet embarrassment can really put you in a deep hole. Like, as players, we get mad when reporters talk bad about us, but when your friend makes a meme about you or exposes like a video or something, and that is never going away, I can definitely understand the feeling of being betrayed, sad, and being angry too. Yeah. Because it's a lot of it's on social media, on Snapchat and it ain't never going away, and they can always hang that over your head. And then nowadays, shoot, it gets around the country before it gets around the school.
in 2 seconds.
Right. And, you know, so they are dealing with a lot tougher stuff. They are dealing with a lot tougher stuff, and I can understand. So we do have to have that conversation, and that's what it, you know, boils back to giving the kids a comfortable place to, you know, mentally de-drain themselves, to mentally let out what's bothering them in the safe haven.
That's key, though, a comfortable space, because a lot of them don't feel like they're heard, or a lot of them don't feel like people are genuinely for them, you know. So that term comfortable is key.
That's true. It could be any sign that they pick up to think that you're not with them, but that's the sign that they're holding on to think that everybody's against them, because they're kids and everybody's telling them what to do, and nobody's telling them what fun things to do. Always telling them what things not to do, what fun things not to do.
Right.
So they always feel like everybody's against them, and you know, we don't tell them we love them enough.
Right. No, that's true. And social media is such a beast now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because the kids are getting creative with the memes and the reels and the Instagram, all that stuff, and imagine if you're on the side of the embarrassing side of it, it can be detrimental. It could hurt, because as professional athletes we get made fun of, but you know we're taught to ignore it. We have to ignore it, but kids, you know, they're not professionals. They're not, you know, old enough to deal with all those kind of emotion and embarrassment.
Yeah. And they're just so quick, but you said something too earlier. It's just about teaching our kids on how to, that education too, on how to be as well, because they're so quick to, like, I don't know, it's just different now. Like nowadays,
it's sensitive, more sensitive, and things happen a lot faster, and they grow up a lot faster too.
That's what my point is. So yeah, and they so like send news over the phone, or like you just met the person and like what? Like
Instagram is that's what they see is what they do.
Yeah, you know, but it's like I don't know. It's just
they're not ready for it, but and this all new to us too, even the adults. But we're not focused on it because we have bills to pay. We're not making money on this. We're not as much, or you know, is making money on Instagram. We're just sticking back to our old 9-to-5 regular communication ways. But these kids are growing up with iPads and iPhones.
Yeah, that is their life
in their cribs.
Yeah. Addicted to
it. And you can't blame them. Yeah. You cannot blame them.
Yeah. I was watching, I forget what show that was, Social Dilemma or Social something on Netflix. It's a really good, it's like a documentary to watch on how there's more to it than we know, as far as like when people say, oh, if you talk about wanting to buy something and then it pops up in your phone, like that shit is real. Like, or they can
marketing. I seen it.
Bro, like that's scary though. Like somebody can spy through your phone and see what you're doing or what you're even looking at, or
technology.
It's
technology generation that it's there's so much more to it. It's taking over.
So much. Taking over
it is taking over our life. Unfortunately, our youth is growing up in that era, in this era.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, we can talk to them about, you know, social media and Instagram is not a reality, but you know, when they're on it all day, it kind of becomes their reality.
You get your likes and it almost like defines them, or they just feel worthy because you got a freaking like, or you know, you want to get a
certain amount of followers. It's real. Because, you know, we're human beings. Everybody looks at numbers. Numbers are what, you know, I guess is the threshold of making you feel good.
Validating good or not, or validation. Yeah. Well, I like that you do a lot of work with the community and you give back a lot.
I try to help out as much as I can, but you know, it's work. It's fun though, because seeing people that really appreciate it, it's like, you know what, I'm glad you appreciate it.
I'm huge on that. You know, I ain't got nothing to give, but I just try to give with like education or something. But I noticed that, and it's really a good thing and good quality, just to genuinely want to give back. You know what I'm saying? To have that.
Because we needed help. You know, coming from Haiti. You know,
maybe that's we came from nothing, so we know what it's like.
We know exactly what it's like. Yeah, it was like, hey.
Yeah.
If I can help you, I'd be more than willing to give it to you. But you know, hey, I tried and you try, keep pushing. It'll come.
You're doing a lot. It's really
trying.
You're doing. Definitely. I like I said, I do work with a lot of kids, and just the unfortunate and the at-risk youths, and the, you know, they look highly on people who do come back and give. And it means a lot to them when they see someone from their neighborhood to say, hey, I was just like you and I made it, you know. So it does something to them psychologically to say, you know what, maybe I do need to get my stuff together. Maybe I do need to get my grades together, or, you know, stay out the streets, or, you know, because he made it. So, you know, so I do commit to that.
That's what inspired me on honestly, just to seeing like we had NFL players come to our school. So you're like, oh, this is what an NFL player looks like. We're just seeing them. You're like, oh, this is because when it's in person, it's a different view. When it's on TV, everybody looks a certain way, but in front of you, you're like, this guy's super tall. This guy's super big. This guy is super strong, or, you know, you can just tell a difference of a professional athlete and a regular. And then I saw the first NFL player, and I was like, okay, because I've always loved football, but I never saw a professional athlete. Then when I saw a professional, I was like, oh, this is what I got to do. And
right.
So being around and spending time, and, you know, time is the most valuable thing you can give anybody. So that definitely plays a role in inspiring them, even if they don't get it at the moment, they will think back about the times that was spent together or the lessons that was taught, you know, and then hopefully use the advice that was given. But, you know, being there physically in front of them plays a big role. And I enjoy it too, because, you know, they teach me a lot, and I try to teach them a little bit.
They really do. They teach you how to live in today's society as well, too.
Exactly. You know? Which keeps me young, which keeps me very, very young. So it's fun.
Yeah. So I have 3 questions from 3 of your fans. Are you willing to answer them?
Of course.
All right. So I have a Mike from Georgia, and he asks, are you planning on returning to the NFL, and or what are your next career moves?
Going back to the NFL now with the COVID, it's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher. I've gotten used to quarantining or being at home and coaching, so it's like I'm not in a rush to get back. It's cool to have nothing to do, honestly. I've been playing football since high school. You know, went off to college, played, and went to the league. So this is like the first time where you can just be like, I can wake up whenever I want to wake up and go to sleep when I want to. Yeah, and like spend time with people that I've been away for like 20 years. You know, since high school, I left West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And I'm going into my second year of just being home. The first year I was working out, so it was like still kind of in the league, but this is like, all right, COVID hit. I'm really taking a break now. I'm really chilling.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm enjoying it, enjoying not having nothing to do, but I enjoy watching and enjoy being around. I just, you know, it's a lot of work to play in the league. You guys only see Sundays. They only see Sundays, but I know the day-to-day, the work. And my next, I do a lot of real estate stuff. Do a lot of, real estate and coaching, honestly, and playing golf. I'm trying to get my golf. I'm
Not at top.
I'm on a future goal with golf, so I'm putting in the time and effort to learn the game and to learn the movements and to hit it straight.
Like for real, or like at a top golf or a drive shot?
Not forever. I'm working on some plans to get my game to the level that I want to be able to represent.
Okay. Pretty awesome. Now it's interesting that you came back to West Palm. Everybody's flying out of here and just.
I love West Palm Beach. I love West Palm Beach. I live. If you're in West Palm Beach, you're close to the beach. So you go straight to the beach. You're chilling. We forget that the beach is right there. We don't go to it as often, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. It's relaxing. Time slows down where you're at the beach. Actually, it speeds up because you're having so much fun or just chilling and relaxing. But it's a beautiful sight. Then I can go to my mom's house. They have Haitian food ready. My sisters live out here. My family, my coaches. High school people I went to middle school with, high school. It's a safe haven for me. It's comfortable. I know on the streets. When I always lived in different places, I never was comfortable because I was always a visitor. Now I'm home, like, they're like, where you at? I knew where you at. I could come pull up on you right now. And like when I was living in India or DC, I was like, I don't know that area that well. So I never really felt comfortable. But here, I don't need a GPS. I'm pulling up. That's it.
I feel you. Florida's home. Definitely. Mm-hmm. And ain't nothing like it anywhere else.
Like I went to middle school here, high school here. I know all the places. I see all the new development that they're doing. I know all the old stuff that used to be there. So, can't anybody tell me nothing. This is it.
Got a lot of crazy folks here, but it's still home.
In West Palm Beach, that's another thing I love about West Palm Beach. It's very diverse. It's very, very diverse. So it's wherever you go, you'll always find people that are enjoying being in South Florida.
Yeah, I'm with you on that though. I'm a Florida girl to the T. So, your second question is from Forrest from West Palm Beach, Florida. He wants to know what did you focus on after transitioning from pro sports?
Shoot, honestly, it was only on pro sports because every week we had a job to do. Every week we had an opponent we were playing. We had to study our opponents. We had to study our opponents, prepare our bodies for the game, no matter what situation or conditions it would be, and just honestly full focus on the task that we have to do on Sunday. And then the task could change on Sunday and we still had to be on top of it. So it was a lot of film work, body maintenance, practice, and do it all over again. And preparation, everything we had to prepare for everything, which is a life lesson that I've learned from playing in the league, is preparing for everything, because there's no excuses on Sunday of why something go the way it's supposed to go. We're out there to expect to win.
Right.
We know our opponents. We know what they can do. They have to defend us, or, because I play offense, they have to defend us. They have to guard us. We are in control of our actions. Right. We know what they can do. We're going to be better. Like that's honestly what it is. And we prepared for it from right after the game on Sunday night, Monday morning, it's on to the next opponent. We fix what we messed up on. We move forward and play. We keep it as simple as possible, but on the main goal. The main goal is to win. If it's not helping the team to win, we're not focusing on that. If it is, we're giving it our full attention.
Right. Okay.
So that was my mindset, but the team set that kind of environment for us too. I got fortunate enough to go to a team where they had a lot of leaders and older guys that played in a long time. So we were guided correctly. There's guys that go to young teams or bad teams or different teams, and they're just misguided from the jump, and they never really have an opportunity. That's kind of like a family. If you're misguided from the jump, you never have an opportunity. But if you're guided correctly, you have a 50% chance of making it, 60, 80% chance, because you just have to fall in line. And that's how I got lucky to be the player, the person, and the man I am.
So it's like life, like you said earlier. Mm-hmm. I had a question, but my mind. So this is the third question. Megan from Miami, Florida said, "Are you single?"
You know, we're gonna
They can put you out.
right. That's a tough one. We, you know.
Okay. Okay. All
You
right.
know.
I was gonna say, you want to see the pic, or you?
You know, we in
Let's move
transition. You know, it's no high school sweethearts. And I got friends, but you know, it's you know, I'm relearning myself, so I have to take my time to engage because you know, life is life. Now that I'm not working, you know, life is different. When I'm working a certain way, now it's a different way, and you know, I've changed, so I can't. Sorry.
It's okay.
I can't really, you know, have high expectations when I don't really know myself yet. My new self.
Right. I hear you. They're texting me things that they're typing in the comments.
Sound good. I can't see the comments.
Oh, this is kind of a dumb one. I don't even want to ask you. Are you looking for an intent? Do you see it, or are you just?
That was funny. Yes. Oh my God. You know what? That's not right.
Right?
It's not right. That's messed up. No, that.
Look, you're working on you.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm trying to get myself. Trying to get. That's funny though. That was a good question. That was a good one.
Well, Pierre, I definitely want to thank you a million for coming on. I know this was kind of last minute with you, so I really appreciate it. I do appreciate it because, you know, just in what I'm trying to do is normalize mental health in our community, and just in general, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when I say it, or someone else, you know, who's not of a celebrity status, it's like, yeah, you're my therapist, so you got to be like, whatever. But, you know, normal people, you know, of high followings and celebrity status, to say, you know what, mental health is real, you know, get help when you need it, you know, just to kind of normalize it. It just kind of seeps through our community slowly. And I'm all about baby steps. I know nothing's going to happen overnight. I knew this was going to be an uphill battle when I started this. But look, I'm here today, and you know, I just have a lot of hopes for saving children. Like, children are my passion, you know what I'm saying? And I do a lot of work in like I said, the at-risk youth community as well. And even in my home school, I went to Candid when I was younger, and I went back intentionally to provide mental health services there, because again, we just look at children's behavior and then don't realize why they're reacting the way they are, you know, or understanding their situation and environment.
Understanding your situation is, that's the answer there.
So to help, you know, at least one kid or whatever it may be. And if one kid can like look at the show and say, you know what, you know, like I said, and I hear that all the time, you know, if he can do it, I can do it. And it just helps to shift their mindset a little bit to making them want to be more engaging and doing the right thing, you know, and then understanding the wrong path is only going to get you but two places, and neither of them you don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. If I can help in any ways, I will love to. If you want to send me the clips of this, we can post it on social media and, you know, get the views up to, you know, to checking in with you.
I appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I appreciate it. So I think that is all that I had to ask and move forward with. Thank you again, 100%. And I guess we'll stay in contact.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, everyone, thank you. To kind of wrap up our session today, or not session, but our show. I got the wrong hat on. So to wrap up our show today, I really do appreciate, that was a very last minute call from him, and he just jumped right to it to say, hey, I'm willing to do, whenever it is that you need, and to talk about, mental health. And I was particular in bringing up his culture as well, because I do deal with a lot of children who have different cultures, whether it be Haitian, Jamaican, there's different cultures. And it's just a little bit more tough for us to seek help when needed, and just keep kind of having that understanding that mental health is real. Mental health is real in our communities. It's not a bad thing. So I'm the more I'm saying it, is like I get a little frustrated. Like, it's not a bad thing to just kind of want to fix who you are, and that self-development. No one is perfect, and we are, again, I say this all the time, we all have a story. No matter how much we portray that story to look like on social media, there's always a back end to things, and knowing where you come from, or any traumas that you've been through, whether it be physical abuse or even mental abuse, that just yelling at someone every day, or just kind of being in a negative environment, or the sexual abuse, it does things to children that they do. Again, they don't, and he said it perfectly, they don't know how to cope, and they don't have that mindset yet, because your brain is still developing, and it doesn't stop developing until after you're 25 years old. So having a child go through traumas or just some kind of challenges in life, it's just that platform that we come in as therapists or counselors to help them cope and deal with the challenges that they're going through, to becoming a better self on the other end. It's nothing bad. It's nothing wrong. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. If there is a financial issue, again, if the kid is in public school, K through 12, you can talk to the guidance counselor and ask for what's called a family therapist, or you can contact your insurance company and or provider and ask them for the behavioral health department, and then they'll tell you how many, it goes by units, but how many services you can render from your insurance. And then depending on the severity of your issue, the counselor or therapist can always ask for more units or service time. So those are little steps that you can seek into looking if you are looking for help. Or as always, you can follow me and DM me at any time. I get a lot of DMs asking personal questions, of course, because you don't want to. So I always accept and answer and try to help to the best of my abilities, and direct you into the right path. So I must say I'm very, very impressed by all the response and positive responses that I'm getting back from people just wanting to better themselves. Life happens, and one year might be your year, the next year might not be. Nothing lasts forever, whether it's good or bad. So just learning how to enjoy the good time, and just having that coping skills ready. I like to call with my clients to have an imaginary backpack filled with coping skills. So whenever you're dealing with anything, you know what to pull out at any time to utilize for you to deal with it, so to speak. So again, I do appreciate him coming on, expressing his upbringing and his input on mental health. We did touch on Suicide Prevention Month. I do want to leave us with that number in the event that you or someone is going through any type of suicide ideations and or thoughts. The number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. And that's the suicide hotline. And again, just to touch on key topics, what to look for in children who may be expressing any type of suicide ideations, or just any difference in behavior. Those who have children, you understand their behaviors to the T. They can walk in the door and you notice that something is off. Question those times. Ask them what's wrong, or how, just a little bit more in depth than how is your day? Because I'm not sure which parent gets that answer, but just knowing your kids and knowing when they're a little bit not themselves, if they're asking questions of just being more appreciating more than normal, and it's not their normal self to do that, they might be off their normal behaviors, and just doing your best. I mean, not every parent, look, these kids don't come with a manual. So just doing your best and always being, in tune with their emotions and their feelings as well. I think, myself, even growing up, raising with a single mom, she didn't have that time or, how to say, it's just checking in on our day-to-day experiences or feelings or what we're going through. And I say that to say a lot of my kids aren't, this is the same way. So just doing a little bit more and checking in with them, and not thinking that just because this is a Black male or a Spanish female that, they don't do that. They don't commit suicides. They're one of the highest rates in youth now. And like I said, the rates are rising. And it's just sad, and it's totally preventable. So again, that number is 800-273-8255. In the event you or someone wants to, or have had suicidal ideations, just give that number a call. And as always, please, please, please DM me with any questions or any thoughts or concerns that you may have, and I will do my best to help you in the right direction. So I'm excited to conclude our second show. Thanks again to Mr. Pierre Garcon. And have a good day, and see you guys next week, Wednesday, again at 8 p.m. And follow me again on social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at officiallyisa.com or officiallyisa, and vibin.com. Thank you. Have a good night.